Do you like slaying dragons? Do you like going on adventures with your friends? Or are you just a massive hoarder? If so, these amazing dice vaults are just the thing for you.
Hello? Hello? Ah! Yeah, everything's on. Good. So, yes, to make these dice trays, bit of a backstory. I'm late on a Secret Santa. Well, no, yes, I was late for Secret Santa, but then I thought, hey, this person really likes role-playing games, etc. Plus, I also promised one of my best friends a dice vault. So I thought, hey, why not quickly do this as a project? Now, I'm a little bit stressed on this project purely because I can't cock it up, because I have to have it done in 3 days, right? And I'm not going to work on Christmas. So, and it's being the 23rd today. I need to look at how I can do that. Now, what I have for this is I have a specific router bit. It's called a bowling bit. It does nice round edges, but I need to make a template for that and then put it on all these different types of wood. So I want to make one out of oak, just pure oak. I've glued this thing together, this whatever this is, about over a year ago, and it's sort of just been on my wood rack the whole time. So I'm going to try and make one out of this as well, and then I'm just going to make one here out of beech and maybe use Hadouk to make the lid. I've also got American walnut over here that I might use for the lids, but this needs milling. So as always, the first step is let's just mill down the wood that I want to use. And then I'll look at making that template for the router table and give that a go. I'll use the oak, I've got a lot of the oak left. And it's a big piece, so it's easy to handle. And let's see how far I get with this, right? Goal, get 2 dice vaults out of this. Ideally, I'd like to have bigger stock, everything prepared more and less like, oh, let's use these bits and bobs. But if this works out and if the template works out and if it's as easy as I hope, then actually I can churn out a few more and make more for other people. But anyway, enough waffling, let's just get on with it. So, to be fair, I'm not sure if this will be the first video where I'm using the router table or the second, depending which video I release first. But anyway, it's the first time I'm using the router table on a project. I need to cut out this template, and I was thinking like I can use a jigsaw and try and cut that super straight, but it's always very, very tricky, and I can't get in there with a bandsaw. I could use my scroll saw, but it's quite thick stock. So what I was thinking is that if I just run this along the fence of the router table, that should give me a perfectly straight line. And I try to keep this. God, my speaking today is really tough. I kept this parallel to the edge, so that should just work. If not, the other option is I could put a piece of wood on top of it as a template guide and use one of the previous templating bits. But you know, where's the fun in that? So let me try and just use a straight router bit and pull it along the vent. Let's see how good my router table is, huh? So when you run a piece like this, you want to do it this way so that it eats into your piece. So you push against, not with, because if you get with, it'll shoot it away. However, because it's rotating this way, right? If I do this and pull it that way, or if I put it the same way, I'll have the same problem. So I need to put it in here and pull the workpiece this way against the bit. So, and the first one I'll edge it close. So I'm going to put it down. Put it down and see how we go. Okay. And there we go, perfect perfect template. I mean, that's perfect straight lines, super flush. I need to just maybe sand that bit there, and there's a little bit of a bump, and that's just because oh sorry, you can't see over here, so there's a little bump here, and I need to sand that here. And that's just because, my God, let me just, okay. So there's a little bit of a bump here, which I don't know now that you zoomed out you can see, and a little bit here, and that's just because getting these spot on these holes is quite a little bit tricky. So, you know, because I need these two to be exactly parallel to the one edge. But you know, it's pretty good. I think a bit of a sand, and then we've got a perfect template. So, I'm very happy, very, very happy. Muy bien. Okay, so now this can run in here, but obviously it's not deep enough, and I want to take out most of that thing. So this is 30 mil, so I must probably take it's probably 26 in a bit, just so that I don't cock up the shape a little bit. So I'm gonna use the drill press to just drill most of this away. So let's go over there. And it was at this moment that Pierre realized that his magnificent plan was totally bogus. So the router that's in my router table is a big industrial size router. And the problem is, the collet that I bought, I had to buy a special collet to fit these pieces because the bits were smaller than the industrial bits. And this one is even smaller than that, which sucks. However, I mean, it's not all's lost. It just means I have to use my hand router, which might have been something I would have had to do anyway to see what I'm doing, but it does bum me out a little bit, and I don't want to just wait. I can't wait, but also I don't want to buy one of these just for the table now. I want to see if this approach works first, and then maybe I'll invest should I want to roll out more of these, but a little bit gutted, I won't lie. Whoa. Okay, this is a very, very, very aggressive bit. I won't lie. For handheld, I don't think this is anything. I'm gonna get the big Bosch out. I just feel safer with that than with this. I think this is good for like edge round over and that, but not for this project. So yeah, I kind of wish I had a smaller oiling bit. And this machine is getting super hot. This bit is super hot. Whoa, it's like piping hot. I think it's a little bit blunt, but I mean the effect it does. Let's see if we can bring it in a little bit. Hope you can see it's pretty cool, but I've still got a way to go, and I'd rather work with a machine I trust. Or at least that's designed to plunge, right? Oh, nearly. Oh. Okay, it's burning a little bit, so I need to move a bit faster, I think. I mean, that's pretty good. I just want to see if it's deep enough for the dice to put a lid on top then. Not sure of that either. Yeah, this is a problem. Okay, it's not deep enough. This project's riddled with problems for me. So what I'm going to do is try and see if I can go deeper. Problem is I'm limited by this stupid router and the bit. It's not. Actually, no, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Now that I have it in the bowl, I can use the bowl itself as a reference, although I don't know if it's deep enough. Let me do one more pass of this on. That actually works really well. I'm actually super happy with that. So I'm gonna do this one, and then do one in oak, and then we'll go from there. Look at that. And you know what? I'll move it in a minute. I actually really like the look of that. So the only thing is I have a bit of a chip out in here. I don't know if you can see that there. I'm not sure why. Maybe that was from a chisel work, although I think it just is this wood, but it actually worked out fine. I mean, the reality is I'm still in this white zone. I could make it deeper, but I'll be honest, if you look here, the dice fit in there really nicely. So, perfect. This time I cocked up a little bit. I accidentally slipped. Well, I didn't put it low enough, so the bearing wasn't riding for the initial cut. So, as you can see, it goes quite in here, and this is quite thin. That's it. In the hole, I think this is very thin. This is how I want it to be at the end, but I might finish this one just for the sake of finishing it, but this is my least favorite. This will be like my leftover piece, I guess. Yeah, it's not that great. Also, I don't have a lot of room. It's not wide enough. I need thicker stock, wider stock. It's a pity because I mean oak looks pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Let's focus on the other two then. Okay, it's all lastminute.com here. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 24th. 2 more days to get this done, and I don't really want to do much on Christmas Day. Anyway, so I have 2 of the trays. I put 2 in the beach and 1 in here. On this one, this side is a little bit thicker than that, so I'm going to have to trim that down. So I'm going to trim the ends to make it 90 degrees, thin one side on the table saw, then this bottom piece is ready. Another thing I'm going to do is just trim the bottom off, just to make that a little bit thinner so that this box isn't too massive. And then for this, it's just a case of cutting it, trimming it on the sides, and I'll use this side for the present that I want to do. Yeah, well, one of the 2 presents. Then, in terms of the lid I'm for the beach, I'm going to make out of the walnut. So I have a mill piece here. I just need to make sure it's the same width, and that'll fit nicely for that. Now, Problem for this one, if I make a walnut lid, it looks stupid because walnut's already on top. So it should really be some of the sycamore. So problem is I don't have any of it milled, so I'm gonna have to do some milling, which I hope I didn't have to do, but because I want it to be a nice thing, I think I should really do it. So I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'll start routing edges around the inside, and then start fitting the lid, which I'll explain closer at the time. So I'm just gonna crack on, try and get the bits of stuff done. Not talk as much as normal, just to get through it all. This has now happened a few times to me, and I'm not too sure why, but it's purely a fluke. So I was gonna cut this width, similar to how I did the other wood just now, to the width of these, but I held this over it, and it's like a perfect match. It's like maybe 0.5 millimeter off, but sanding, I mean, that's cool, one less cut. So the next steps all happen here on the router table. What I want to do is I want to put a round over at the bottom and also a round over on the lip, even though I will be routing out a channel. So the idea is we'll route out a little inset like that, so it'll go up straight in the corners, and that's where the lid will slide in. This just gives it a proper fit. However, I want this to be rounded, or very, very likely chamfered rather. So actually, chamfer's a better thing. I'm most probably gonna use a chamfer bit. So I'll be doing that first on all the pieces, the bottom edges, as well as, yeah, even the sides everywhere. I'll chamfer all of it and then look at installing the lid. I think that would be the best bit. I've got 3. This one with an X is a bit wonky, so the one side is thicker than the other, and I don't want to really change the size because it matches the size of the other one. So I'm just gonna use this as the guinea pig for all of these things. So that's what it would look like. Obviously, this one looks a bit weird because it's thin on this side. What I must probably do is I'll make it as thin as this, just for this piece, so that it looks better. So I'm literally just gonna knock that there. Let's see if I bring this. That's this piece. So I'm gonna try it like this. And then that's what that should look like. I should leave room. So I'm going to do that for the other 2 pieces as well. I really hope that this distance will be enough. I think it'll clear it just about. If not, we can always, yeah, if not, we'll deal with it. So, but that's for this. So now the tricky part comes for the lid. I need to chamfer out exactly these sort of corners, which will be the tricky part. And that's something we need to edge towards. So what I will do is I'm going to quickly just cut this thing in half. Actually, you know what? No. I wonder. I quite like the setting it is now, and I think that's plenty strong. So I'm going to use exactly the same for this, okay? And there's a reason for that. Because then I can make the lid better. So here we go. So now we have the 3 boxes. I'm gonna work on the beach ones first to start fashioning the lid. Now, this will be a really tricky piece of work because what we need to do is we're gonna keep the same height because the height will match it, so we mustn't touch that. But we need to route the opposite to this. Now obviously that's sort of the tricky part. So I need to move the fence forward. Oh, sorry, this sawdust. Move the fence forward so that this piece matches. Now, there's 2 things. One, it relies on this being exactly the same, which in this case it is. So what I need to do is I can align it from this side, not from this side, but from the other side. You can put it in a perfect square and then you can see where it goes. And then do a test pass. Now, I initially will just use my test piece again to get the feel if it's right. And I'll show you that now. So I'm just gonna align this. I'm gonna do first pass like this. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll edge closer and closer and closer until we're happy with the result. At least this time I'll have proper suction. I'm going to try and make sure you can see this somehow. So when I hold it over this, you can see there's, I don't know if the light's good enough. Let me try this around. When you hold it over this, you see there's still a millimeter gap overlay. So what that means is I need to now knock this piece a millimeter back. So just loosen it and knock. I'll knock a second time, tighten it, and we'll go from here. I'm just gonna go straight forward, right? So this piece of wood is exactly as wide as these throughout, maybe a mil wide at some points. Which I can cater for if that's the case, right? Let's just go. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Moment of truth. Look at that. It just slid in there. And it's quite a tight fit. And let's try here. I'll even need the dice in. Look at that. Oh, I'm so happy. This is spot on. Spot on. Spot on. Secret Santa gift saved. So, with this one, it's narrower, so we'll do the same thing as we did before.
I then proceeded to chamfer all the edges, cut the lids to the right size, and do a little bit of sanding on the inside. And lastly, I drilled the holes for the magnets in the lid and the bases. Sorry about the hand again.
So, I'm going to put the smallest of dabs. There's a little hole in the middle, and that's where the glue can escape into if there's too much. So hopefully it won't. Okay, so black thing on top. Magnets away. Black thing on top. Magnets away, activator. That seemed to have worked. Now in theory, they should all be dried and cured. Look at that! Woo! Yes. This one's quite a snug fit. It actually, the snug fit is worse because this one's quite cool. It just like snaps in place. And this one, wrong way around. Perfect, huh? Look at that. And there we go. Now, just the fun part, sanding. Okay, I'm gonna use this tech cloth to get the dust off. And then I'm just gonna use this beeswax. This is beeswax and mineral oil, so it's food safe. You don't really have to make these things food safe, but you know, we're playing with dice, etc. Eating crisps. I guess that might be a cause for it. Reality is it's the fastest finish I have. I have to give this present to someone in about an hour. Cutting it short, I know. Or close, I mean even. So I just thought, you know, that's the easiest finish to apply, and it dries super quick and it'll be ready quickly. I don't need to put many coats on. But yeah, so this top should pop straight away. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's American walnut. Looks so good when it's finished. Now in the runners, I can put wax. I just have to be very careful on not making sure there's no residue, because then it can stick. And the end grain is obviously, like always, a lot of attention. It soaks up much of the oil in this mixture. Oops. But yeah, I'm gonna just finish these and then I'll see you at the end of my video. And there we have it. We've got our awesome dice vaults. Ironically, the beech, for me, the beech and the walnut one looks the best. I never thought that I would say that, but you know, beech, I mean, even in here, look at that. I don't know if you can have enough light, but it looks really smart. I think, I always see beech as like a furniture wood, and they use it in a lot of these modern light furnitures, but it actually turns out it's quite a striking color. I've got this piece of grain in here that's really awesome, like from a branch or a split in the wood or something. Really like it, and obviously the American walnut pops like crazy. And in this one, particularly, the lid can go any way. I like that. In this one, I think it's the same. Yeah, but I mean it's the same box. But this one, sadly, because of the nature of the cut, it's slightly, there's a slight lip. I won't lie, but it adds character. But I mean, this one looks good too. I think the problem for me is I would prefer if the box was something like that, where the lid was dark and there was just a middle light bit. But because it's that, I don't actually like it as much. I mean, it still looks good. I like what it looks like inside. So yeah, I'm very happy with this project. It's one of the first projects I promised I would do, and it's down to my geeky nature, you know, I love it. So, and I'm very happy I've got 3, so I can give some away. But yeah, that concludes today's video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or of any other steps, anything, please let me know. If you'd like one, also just comment. Maybe I'll batch out a few in the future. I think they make great gifts, and if you're a geek, you love keeping your dice safe. But yeah, thanks for watching. And as always, subscribe and like. Well, something didn't sound too healthy.